Community Outreach Social Worker for Hope House Memphis right here in Memphis, Tennessee. And whether you are returning or if you're new to the convention, welcome. We're happy to have you here. If you are behind on our last videos, you need to catch up. You can always go back and look on our YouTube page under the handle Hope House Memphis for our previous videos, as well as some of our upcoming videos. And if you don't want to have to keep searching just to see if there's a new video available, make sure you like and subscribe below so that you don't miss out on our new content. Also, feel free to look us up on Facebook or Instagram for updated information on Hope House or some cute pictures of some of our kids at our daycare, as well as some of our client stories. And you can also find us on our website at hopehousememphis.org. So check us out when you can. All right, let's get into it. June has been a very busy month for us here at Hope House because June is the month not only of HIV Testing Day, which is this coming Sunday on the 26th, but also because it's been Pride Month. And so all month we've been celebrating with our friends in the LGBTQ community. Some of the things that we've been doing, we've been out in the community, providing free testing, as well as outreach to those who might need more information about HIV, as well as linkage to care. And just, we wanted to be out in the community as an ally, as a support for those living as a member of the LGBTQ community. If you didn't know already, the LGBTQ plus population is a big part of the HIV population as well. There are about 1.2 million people living with HIV in the United States, and the LGBTQ plus population seems to be disproportionately affected by HIV than other population groups. Just for your clarification and for your information, when it comes to the men who have sex with other men population, they make up about 2% of the United States population, but 60% of the HIV population. So that's a huge gap right there. Also, trans women are also impacted by HIV disproportionately more than other population groups. When looking at particular communities, the trans woman population groups seem to be 49 times more likely to have HIV, to be living with HIV, than other population groups. This makes sense when you look at the stigmas and discrimination practices that still continue within the LGBTQ plus population group. Many states, unfortunately, continue to allow discriminatory practices in certain aspects of the housing population, as well as employment as well. So there's a lot of discriminatory practices in the housing market. There's a lot of discriminatory practices seen within the employment market, as well as with foster care and adoption agencies, and even with public accommodations for bathrooms and changing rooms as well. And without these basic needed items, especially, housing and income, people who are living as a part of the LGBTQ plus population group, and particularly the trans group, they are seeing high rates of homelessness. They are seeing low income, no income status, so they can't afford basic need items such as food or shelter or clothing or hygiene products even. There is a issue with health care. They're not able to go to the doctor because they can't afford health insurance, or their medications. If they do get a chance to go to the doctor, medications still cost money a lot of the times, even with a lot of these programs that help with medical costs. And also there's just a lack of support as well. It's harder to find support through family and friends and those in the community. So a lot of times people who are part of the LGBTQ plus population group, they have a lot of mental health issues as a result of this rejection. And it can lead to, bouts of suicidal thoughts, can lead to depression, can lead to anxiety, just a host of mental health issues that they then would have to try to manage on top of the rejection that's felt from the community. So, what happens when these discriminatory practices are left unchecked? they eventually lead to a deeper problem, which includes violence a lot of the time. Unfortunately, the LGBTQ plus population group has a very high rate of attacks and violence thrown at them. And this is seen in a variety of entertainment measures, as well as news reports and articles and books, and it's just blown up all over the world. And so there's many cases that you can look into where you see people who are part of this population group that have been tortured or sexually assaulted or physically assaulted, and at times even murdered. Some cases that you can look into so that you can get a little bit of insight about what this population group can go through. Some of these can be the Laramie Project. The Laramie Project is based off of the 1998 case with Matthew Shepard, who was a young gay male, again, just living his life, trying to be the best him possible, and somebody did not like the fact that he was gay and decided to murder him as a result of that. There is also Philadelphia. There's the movie Milk. There is the movie Boys Don't Cry, about the young gentleman named Brandon Tenna. And this is a 1993 case of a trans man, a woman who transitioned to a man, who again was just trying to live their life, and somebody decided to murder them as a result of that. There's also the Pulse nightclub shooting, and it's not a movie or anything, but it is something recent that happened back in 2016, and you can look up the articles about that. And that was a nightclub that was in Florida that was terrorized by a gentleman who I guess was completely against the LGBTQ plus population. And then right here in Memphis, if you're a part of Memphis, you probably heard of Jazeline Ware, who was shot in her own apartment because she was a trans woman. So this again is a very big deal, and this is why Pride is such a big deal. We have to bring awareness to this population to show that they are human just like anybody else, and they just want to be as they were called to be, as they were born to be, how they see themselves, and nobody should be discriminated against trying to live their best life as themselves. So if you have any biases, or maybe you just want more information so that you can be more inclusive and more of an ally for the LGBTQ plus population group, here's some things for you to try out, just to challenge yourself to be a little bit better every single day. And number one is to acknowledge any biases that you have. We're all human, and we grew up in certain environments, and sometimes we take on the thoughts and the beliefs of those environments. Doesn't mean it's always right. So find where you're lacking, find where those biases are, stop them in their tracks, and challenge yourself to be a little bit better. We're all human, we're all gonna make mistakes, and that's okay, but it's different if you know that you've made a mistake and you choose not to change it. Don't let silence be your answer. Change yourself so you can grow and help others change as a result of that. Number two is to educate yourself. Education can move you into a place of empathy and understanding this particular population group. So ask questions of those who are living within this population. Do your own reading. Look at those movies and articles that we discussed just a few moments ago. Just educate yourself so that you can begin to understand a little bit more about what this population group goes through and how you can help as an ally. Or if you're a part of this population group, what can you do to get more involved in this population group and hopefully challenge some of those negative stereotypes that maybe your family, friends, or the community has put on you. You don't have to take on those stereotypes. You are your own person, and you can overcome those stereotypes. just by learning more about yourself and joining alongside people that are just like you. Number 3, use more inclusive language. Okay, so don't assume somebody's gender identity or sexual orientation. It's always better to ask. And if you don't know, it's you might encounter somebody who's open and willing to engage in a conversation with you about why they identify a certain way, or what their pronouns are, or just whatever language they use for themselves. Never just assume, always ask. And you might find that a lot of people that you ask are open to sharing that little piece about themselves. They welcome you to ask rather than assume. And if you misgender somebody, it's okay. Again, we are all human. We're going to make mistakes. So just apologize, change your behavior, and move forward. That's all you can do. You just do a little bit more every day. Get 1% better every day. That's all it takes. And lastly, speak out. So again, silence is also a form of denial, and it's encouraging others to remain the same. So don't do that. If you see somebody who is bullying or speaking out against the LGBTQ plus population negatively, or if you're engaging in conversation with your friend and they use the wrong terminology, you now have educated yourself. You now know the correct terminology. Challenge them to be better as well. Stop the bullying in its tracks. Say something. Speak out. That's how you become an ally, is to begin speaking out and becoming that friend, that advocate that takes up for that person, whether you're with them or without, that person that's a part of the LGBTQ plus population group. So don't allow silence to comfort you. It might be comfortable at the moment, but it will be so much more damaging down the line if you don't confront it right away. And if you're looking for additional help, you can always connect to local agencies within your community. If you're here in Memphis, I'm going to give you some great agencies to check out here. But if you're not in Memphis, do your Google search. I'll even help you. You are welcome to contact me and I will do the legwork for you. But do something to learn more, to educate yourself, whether it be the reading of books, movies, Google, whatever it is, do it. Make sure you're educating yourself. All right, so if you're here in Memphis, here are some resources that you can look for. Number 1 would be Out Memphis. And that is a great organization to work with because they work with the LGBTQ plus population of all ages, starting from teenager on up. So if you have a young teen that's starting to identify as part of that population, this might be a great place for you both to start to learn more about that particular population group, how your child might feel, help them engage with people that are just like them so they can continue figuring out who they are in a healthy, loving environment. So throughout Memphis, they're able to help the homeless youth. They have support groups and therapeutic services, so they do individual counseling as well. They have information on same-sex violence and same-sex partnerships to remain, healthy and sexually healthy as well as physically healthy in a relationship, and mentally healthy. And then they also offer free HIV testing as well as ally and volunteer opportunities. Another organization would be Planned Parenthood. Actually, Planned Parenthood and Choices are very good organizations if you're a part of the LGBTQ plus population group and you need a doctor who's going to be more understanding and open of your gender identity and sexual orientation. And there could be some differences in regards to your sexual health, as well as protecting yourself from STDs, etc., based off of how you identify. So if you currently don't have a doctor, don't know where to go, and you need somebody that's going to be inclusive, those are great places for you to start. Another place would be PEAS, which is Partnership to End AIDS Status. I know this is probably not an organization that's very well known, but you should know about it. Spread the word about it. They have some great resources for the LGBTQ plus population group, and particularly the trans population group. Some services that they offer include Hep C testing as well as free HIV testing. I believe they do have some support groups as well as probably some individual counseling. They have a education group particularly for trans women of color, and that group is called Twist Us, and I believe it's a 5-week course, and you're going to be able to engage with trans women of color in a safe, encouraging environment, strengthening environment. They also have alternative hours, which means they work later in the day. So if you're working and you get off at 5, most places usually close at 5, well, Peas is open, and they'll be open for you. And they also work weekends as well. So check them out online. I believe their website is partnershiptoendaids.org, so check that out. The next one is The Haven, and The Haven is a LGBTQ plus population organization that works on strengthening, encouraging people of color and allies that are for the LGBTQ plus population group. And so they do a lot of encouragement and a lot of empowering, and they do that in a variety of ways, including free HIV testing. They connect you to PrEP if that's something that you need. And remember, in our prior videos, PrEP is pre-exposure prophylaxis, which means it's going to help you protect yourself from HIV diagnosis. So just like a woman would take a birth control pill every single day, well, you can take PrEP every single day to protect you from the spread of HIV. So they can help get you to a navigator that can help get you that medication if that's something that you need. They also do a lot of outreach. They have condom distributions, and then they offer peer-to-peer connections. So if you're part of the LGBTQ plus population group and you need somebody just to lean on, somebody to contact, just to help you navigate through this population, through you coming out, or just whatever it is. If you're part of the population, you're just looking for additional support, The Haven is a great place for you to go. And then, of course, gotta brag on Hope House, right? Because that's where I work. So Hope House, we work with kids and adults who are impacted by HIV and AIDS. And so that's primarily what we do. But for those who are diagnosed with HIV and AIDS, we do have support groups and individual counseling, particularly for you. We also offer food pantry, toiletries, we have childcare available, and we do a lot of outreach as well. So we have free HIV testing, education, and connection into care as well. So if you can't reach any of these other organizations or you don't know where to start, you're welcome to contact me, and I will help navigate you through the LGBTQ plus population services so that we can find the best service that fits you. Okay, and you know what? That's it for today. I know that was probably a lot of information. I hope you got something great out of it. I was so happy that you were able to join me today, and I hope that you stick with me for our next video. So check that out. Remember to like and subscribe below. You're also welcome to contact me on my cell or on my email. And I'm also open to topics. If you're curious about something, you want to know something, you want to talk about something with me, hey, I'm here and I'm open for it. So reach out to me when you can. Until then, you all have a great day, great week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.